Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us here today for the Grandstream Wi-Fi presentation. Joe Shanahan here from VoIP Supply, happy to be hosting. Looking forward to hearing what Phil has to say here for us in a few minutes. That's just some info here in case you don't know everything about VoIP Supply. This slide here shows us, the different services and features that we have here at VoIP Supply for our resellers. Obviously, if you hadn't heard, this is our 20th year of being in business. Started back in 2002, some humble beginnings here. So, we're definitely pretty proud that we've been at it 20 years here and counting and, stronger than ever. So that's a very good sign. But you'll see a list there of, our different features, our rental program, which is like a device as a service type of a thing. We do provisioning with our hardware. We have our CloudSpan marketplace for service providers and end users to find service providers. We can match people up that way. Of course, our fulfillment and provisioning services that we do for many, many service providers, provisioning, configuring phones, shipping them out to end users, blind shipping, making it very seamless for the service provider. We take all that headache off of them and it works out very well. And then finally, there are refresh and reclaim. We do buy used equipment if people are looking to get rid of some of their old equipment. We definitely buy that, to defray cost of new equipment. And then we also sell refurbished hardware for customers looking to save a few dollars. And instead of buying new, they'll buy a refurbished, which we give a full 1-year warranty on all of our refurbished products, just like new products. So anything I can help with that on VoIP Supply's end. Again, this is Joe Shanahan. I believe my contact info will be on at the end of the program here. So with that, I will hand it over to Phil from Granstream, and he's going to take it from here. Phil, all yours.
Thank you, and good afternoon or good morning, I guess, if you're out on the West Coast. My name is Phil Bowers. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Grandstream. Always excited to team up with our longtime partners in VoIP Supply to hold a webinar here today. Heard that it's VoIP Supply's 20th year. It's ironically also Grandstream's 20th year. Both companies founded in 2002. I've been with Grandstream for just about 12 years, and I know we've been working with VoIP Supply the whole time. So definitely highly recommended for all of your Grandstream needs. Great team at VoIP Supply. So what we are here, actually, before I do that, also want to give a shout out and introduce Chris Dow, who is our channel sales manager here from Grandstream, who works with the Teledynamics team. Chris will be hanging out in the chat and answering any questions that might come up during. So feel free to shoot over any questions, and I'll give Chris a second here to say hi if he wants to.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Chris here, like Phil said, work with the VoIP Supply team very close. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to pop those in, and Joe and I will get those answered for you.
Cool. Thanks, Chris. So jumping into our topic here today, we are here to talk mainly about Wi-Fi 6 solutions, which is the whole new basically the whole new wave and the whole new revolution within the Wi-Fi networking space. As we do that, also going to kind of go through and give you a pretty good overview of our GWN series. And for those of you that might be new to it or not familiar with it, the GWN series is our product portfolio of Wi-Fi networking solutions. We've had this portfolio out for just about 5 years. This addition of networking solutions to our portfolio was frankly one of our biggest and most impactful expansions in our company history. And it's really, continued that mission that we set a long time ago to be a one-stop shop for all of the communication solutions that any business or really any vertical is going to need. And, we're really now delivering on that promise and are one of the few companies in the world, if not the only companies in the world, that can really now provide everything you're going to need to put in a communication solution, including, unified communications, voice, video conferencing, also networking solutions here as well. Obviously, that is the backbone of any business's communication solution anymore. As we get going and as we talk about, these Wi-Fi solutions are now also being used to pretty much power and to transmit a lot of unified communications, voice and video solutions as well. But again, the GWN series, it is, and I'll go through all the devices here coming up with you. It is our portfolio of Wi-Fi access points, as well as a variety of management systems and a router for that for those Wi-Fi access points. And I guess one of the main topics here today, and what we're going to cover later on, is the networking space is our basically where we are looking to grow and investing the most within the growth of Grandstream. So there's a whole lot of different and new products coming out this year within the GWN series. Wi-Fi access points, point to multipoint devices, point-to-point devices, switches later on in the year, routers. So we're going to cover that more later. But again, this is, really the biggest area of our growth. It is our fastest growing product line. Grew over 150% worldwide last year. So really excited to tell you a bit more about it here, and specifically the Wi-Fi 6 solutions that we have introduced and will introduce as the year goes on. So just to give you kind of a quick overview of our GWN series and really the high level advantages that it offers. The first thing, and what I think is our biggest differentiator and one of the best aspects of our networking portfolio, we offer 3 free management options. GWN Cloud is our free cloud-based Wi-Fi network, or Wi-Fi management solution. Runs on Amazon Web Services. It is fully free, and there is no limit on the amount of access points or sites that you can manage with it. GWN Manager is it is everything I just described with GWN Cloud, all the same functionality, but it's packaged in a software client that you would run on a local network or a local server on a Windows-based device. Does have, I believe it's limited to up to 3,000 access points. Again, that is a fully free platform. We also have built-in controllers to all of our access points, where you can actually use the user interface, the web user interface of any Grandstream access point to set up and manage up to 50 other Grandstream access points. That's just built right into the user interface. Again, all 3 of those options are fully free. Most of our competitors and most of the other manufacturers within the space do not have really any free management options, let alone the enterprise grade options that we offer. Again, GWN Cloud is fully free, and it has no limit in the amount of access points that you can manage with it. We provide easy installation specifically through using the GWN Cloud and our mobile app for it. You can add access points to any network by just scanning the barcode right on the back of the device. As we're going to see in a minute, we have a full portfolio of access points, indoor, outdoor, long range, and pretty much everything in between at this point as well. I'll go through those devices more with you here in a second, and you'll hear more about a lot of new ones coming up later on in the year at the end of the presentation. And the other great thing about our Wi-Fi solutions is that we built in real-time monitoring, alerts, and reports. This is available through the web user interface of all of our devices, as well as all of the management options that I offered. It's built in. There's no, pricing to get additional analytics or monitoring or troubleshooting or maintenance tools. It's all built in, and it's all both in the user interfaces of the devices, as well as our management solutions. And again, all of that is fully free. So in terms of the access points, going to run through these real quickly with you. This is our current active portfolio of Wi-Fi access points. You can see right off the bat that it is made up of both Wi-Fi 5 and now Wi-Fi 6 access points. The GWN 7660 and GWN 7664 over there on the right, those are our first two Wi-Fi 6 APs. Both of them came out towards I think the 7660 was in January, and the 7664 came out back in February. And both of those fully available. Our first two Wi-Fi 6 access points. I'm going to break down those more for you here in a couple of minutes. We also have a variety of, as you can see here, 4 current other Wi-Fi 5 access points, kind of ranging the full spectrum. The GWN 7062, or excuse me, I said that wrong. The GWN 7602 that you see there just to the right of the middle, that's a great little home office router, or excuse me, home office device with a built-in switch. That's what I'm using here. You also got a 05, a 15, and a 30 that pretty much range increase, as you can imagine from the numbers there, in terms of capacity of supported devices and speeds throughout that. But again, we're mainly focusing on the Wi-Fi 6 access points. I'll go through the specific features of those devices here in a couple of minutes. So these, I should have said this, these are our indoor access points, the ones that you see here on this screen. Now, what you see here on this screen, these are our long range and outdoor access points. All 3 of these devices, and I'm going to tell you about a new one coming soon in a couple of minutes. All 3 of these are made with weatherproof certified casing, which means obviously that they can be used outside. They all are also long range devices. I believe the specs of these, we go up to just about 250 meters. I could be wrong about that. We have a slide that will list it coming up here in a second. But long range devices. So though they're made with weatherproof casing, we see a lot of these being deployed indoors as well, especially in a large indoor area, a warehouse, a greenhouse, you know, a retail store, something like that that's kind of open. These are great devices to be able to really extend the range of your Wi-Fi within there as much as possible, even though they are, you know, technically we call them outdoor because they're made with weatherproof casing. 7660 LR over there on the right, that is our first long-range Wi-Fi 6 access point, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. And I keep talking about Wi-Fi 6, and just to, you know, kind of take a step back here, and just to go into a little bit more detail on what Wi-Fi 6 is and kind of why it's so important and kind of how Grandstream fits into it. So the first thing here is that we're really excited to be able to say that all of our Wi-Fi 6 devices, the ones that are available now and all of the ones coming in the future, will be Wi-Fi 6 certified. And what does that mean? That means that they are certified by the Wi-Fi Alliance, which is what I will mention there on the next screen. Wi-Fi Alliance is an independent organization of manufacturers, basically that strives to not only to promote Wi-Fi, but to set technology standards and interoperability between all the devices. Anything that you're going to see that is certified by the Wi-Fi Alliance or has this Wi-Fi 6 certification, you know, is compliant with and at the top of the Wi-Fi access point industry. And again, we're really excited to be able to say that our current and all future Grandstream Wi-Fi 6 access points will be Wi-Fi 6 certified, and you'll see this logo all over the place. To get this certification, we actually had to put all of the products through their testing, done independently outside of us, and obviously everything passed, or else we would have got the certification. So wanted to mention that as we begin to, you know, go into more detail here on Wi-Fi 6. And so to kind of build on that, we're also excited to now be an official member of the Wi-Fi Alliance. I believe the URL is wifialliance.org. You can take a look at all the other members. It's kind of a who's who of the networking industry. But again, like I mentioned a moment ago, the Alliance is a network of companies that really just are all strive to create standards that create a powerful and opportunistic market for Wi-Fi solutions all over the world, driving Wi-Fi adoption and evolution. pushing technology standards, helping develop, Wi-Fi 6E and whatever might else come after. Yeah, so again, excited to be a member of that. So I thought I had these slides earlier. It probably would have made sense to go through these before that, but that's fine. So keep talking about Wi-Fi 6 here. So why is it so important? What does it actually mean? The easy way to describe, or for the way I like to break down Wi-Fi 6 is to basically go back to when Wi-Fi 5 was created, which is the current generation of Wi-Fi solutions out there. It was created before we had these we'll call them dense Wi-Fi networks. Before everyone had 4, 5, 6 devices that were all connected to Wi-Fi. Before you had homes and offices that were, smart homes and offices with all of your Wi-Fi light bulbs and HVAC systems and, anything else along those lines. Basically, Wi-Fi 5 was created before you had all of these modern devices that all rely on the internet and Wi-Fi connections to be able to function and to be able to be used. So Wi-Fi 6 was created to be able to support as many devices, as many devices, as many connections, and as quick of connections as possible. Really meant to support a lot of devices. That is what Wi-Fi 6 was created for. Kind of to go into how it does that, I always like this graphic that you see here. You look at Wi-Fi 5 on the right, and pretty much the way that worked is it was the access points in that case were communicating with each client in one specific stream. It was sending one specific piece of information in that stream to each client back and forth. Whereas, as you see on the right with Wi-Fi 6, it is actually able to break every packet and every client up into its own piece, able to send information directly to each client with specifically what it's looking for, rather than having to package it all into a couple of different bands or packets or bandwidth. So again, allows Wi-Fi 6 devices to communicate with more access or more devices at the same time and provide faster speeds to them. Another great thing about Wi-Fi 6 technology is it adds in this BSS coloring. Basically, the access points and the network is able to work together to figure out where the weaknesses within the network are and how to best route one client that might be roaming from one device to the next. Traditionally, this would just pass it off to the next access point in that area, but BSS coloring allows the whole network to kind of figure out, where there might be some extra bandwidth, allowing the network to adjust itself to make sure that it is spreading out the signal and that no one area or one access point is handling the majority of it, and how to best pass each client off to the next device. All right, so that's again quick, we'll call it refresher on Wi-Fi 6. Again, the main takeaway of Wi-Fi 6 technology, it was made to handle a lot of devices, a lot of clients, a lot of connections, and to maximize the speeds for each one of them. So now I'm going to go through our current Wi-Fi 6 portfolio, and then we're going to wrap up the webinar by giving you a preview of a lot of new stuff, both Wi-Fi 6 and other Wi-Fi solutions that you're going to see coming out from Grandstream here within the next couple of months. So here we've got our two current indoor Wi-Fi 6 access points, the GWN 7660 and the GWN 7664. 7660 came out back in January. 7664, I believe, actually, now I think about it, came out in March. Pretty much the way to think about these two devices is the 7660, I would say, is kind of your standard business access point, and the GWN 7664 is going to be the most high-powered access point within our portfolio. So let me break these down. Oh, one more thing here. We also, as I mentioned earlier, have the GWN 7660 LR. This is the first Wi-Fi 6 long-range outdoor access point that we came out with. This device is available. The three devices I just mentioned, and that I'm going to now go into more detail on, are fully available right now. So the 7660, this was the first Wi-Fi 6 AP we launched back in January. This is, as I mentioned earlier, pretty much your I'll call it your standard business grade Wi-Fi access point. It has 2x2x2 multi-user MIMO, basically just meaning that there are two internal antennas that are able to both send and receive traffic at the same time. In comparison to the 7664, which you'll see next, that has 4x4 multi-user MIMO, so 4 antennas. The 7660 supports up to 1.77 gigabytes per second, 175 meter range. All of our indoor access points, I believe with the exception of one, all of them are going to be 175 meter range. Supports 256 concurrent clients, has got all the great Wi-Fi 6 technology built into it. All of our access points, I'll mention this now, you're going to see it on other slides, but I'll highlight it now. All of our access points have the advanced QoS built into it, which is a great and I think kind of underrated feature that allows you to go in and pretty much tell the access point what you wanted to prioritize in terms of traffic, type of traffic, what you wanted to block, how you want it to function when it gets overload, or basically when it is in a high usage scenario, what type of traffic you want it to prioritize, etc. Built into every single one of our access points. I'll go through more of those security features later on. There are a variety of additional security features that we add and have built into our access points that pretty much no other manufacturer does. Built into them. Random default passwords, unique security certificates are 2 of them. I'll go into more of it later. And we talked about the 3 free management options. Again, those 3 management options, the 3 free management options, all of those are compatible with all of our Wi-Fi devices. I'll go through this real quick. Obviously, you know, all of the access points in our portfolio are dual band. The 7660, 1.77 gigs per second, 256 concurrent clients, as you saw on the first slide. So now we're going to move up to the 7664. This is, like I mentioned a minute ago, this is the highest powered access point we have in our portfolio. It is obviously Wi-Fi 6, supports 3.55 gigabits per second. That is the fastest that we support throughout the entire GWN series. It has 4x4 multi-user MIMO. So again, that's 4 built-in antennas that each are able to send and receive traffic at the same time. That's going to be at the top of the line within the Wi-Fi AP industry, those 4 built-in antennas. This device supports 750 concurrent clients. And no, that is not a mistake. That is 100% true, and we have tested it and fully verified it. I'll show you this in a second. You won't find anything else out there on the market that's going to support 750 concurrent clients, even other manufacturers' Wi-Fi 6 APs. But I think that stat right there just shows you the full power of Wi-Fi 6, that access points are now able to support 750 concurrent clients on one device, and that is largely because of Wi-Fi 6 technology. Another big differentiator and great point of this device, the 7664, is it has 2 different network ports. It has a 2.5 gig port and a 1 gig port. I'm going to show you in a second coming up here that our main competition within this, we'll call it high-powered Wi-Fi 6 access point network, almost all of them only have 1 port, and it's a 1 gig port, which if you're doing the math, you have an access point that says it supports 3.55 gigs per second, but those other manufacturers only have a port that supports 1 gig per second. It kind of doesn't really add up, and it makes you think that those APs are going to get overloaded with traffic. So a great feature that we offer, those 2 ports, 2.5 G port. I'm going to go through, actually give you more details on that in a second. 175 meter coverage range, just like the other indoor APs. And again, all the great Wi-Fi 6 technology, advanced QoS, and those free management options. So again, this is the highest powered access point within our entire portfolio. Obviously, also the highest powered Wi-Fi 6 access point within our portfolio, indoor. So if you're looking for a super high powered device for a high traffic area, this is what you want. If you're looking for more of a traditional business grade access point, the 7660 is a great option. I'm going to fly through these slides. All right, so I mentioned this a moment ago. What this slide is showing you is our GWN 7664, the device we just covered, in comparison to two different Unify Ubiquity access points. Pretty much their top two selling Wi-Fi 6 access points. And you see that we offer a number of advantages in comparison to both of those. And I'll break these down real quickly. Obviously, 750 concurrent clients, as I mentioned a moment ago, really stands out within the whole Wi-Fi 6 AP industry, and especially in comparison to both of these devices, more than double what both of those devices support. I mentioned the extra 2.5 G port that we have. And here you see both of these devices claim that they support 3 or 5.3 gigs per second, but only have a 1 gigabit port. Another pretty big differentiator for our devices compared to both of those, as you see, we support double the amount of 2.4 gigahertz band throughput. Just about more than double one of them, and just about double the other one. And as many of you probably know, that 2.4 gigahertz band is often used for smart devices. Most smart devices, light bulbs, HVAC systems, all those smart home, smart office, most of them utilize that 2.4 band. So that's an important differentiator. I mentioned the 4x4 multi-user MIMO that we offer on the 7664. The Unify U6 Pro actually only offers 4x4 on the 5 gigahertz band, not on the 2.4 gigahertz band, where it's just 2x2 multi-user MIMO. As I just mentioned a minute ago, that 2.4 band is often what your smart devices and the stuff you need to work will rely on. I also mentioned wireless security earlier, Wi-Fi security. Most manufacturers and both us and the other company you see here mention support all the major Wi-Fi security protocols that you're used to seeing. And what we do is we add in a variety of other additional security features. An anti-hacking secure boot and critical data control lockdown. Basically, if the device senses that something strange is going on, it will actually lock itself down, lock the data down so that nothing else can happen to it. We have unique security certificates on all of our access points. A lot of other manufacturers will put the same security certificate on each of their same AP models. Which if you're looking if you're trying to hack into a network, it's a lot easier to do that if every device, every AP is using the same security certificate. We also have random default passwords on all of our devices. And the main thing that's meant to protect is when you're installing it, that you can't get into somebody can't get into all of the APs by just having one password. A lot of other manufacturers, their default password on all of their devices is admin or something like that. Ours is random per device and listed on the barcode of the device. I've been going on for a while here on this slide. So double the amount of SSIDs or networks supported on our devices. We mentioned the 3 free management options. Another differentiator that I kind of missed earlier is the chip that we use. We use Qualcomm chips in our Wi-Fi 6 access points, generally referred to on the market as the best and highest quality Wi-Fi 6 chip, whereas Unify utilizes MTK chips, which you can do your own research on. One other thing that I kind of completely forgot to mention is we're supporting Wi-Fi 6 on the 7664 on both the 2.5, I keep saying that, on both the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz band. Whereas you can see the U6LR actually only supports Wi-Fi 6. Excuse me, keep talking over myself here. The U6LR only supports Wi-Fi 6 on the 5 gigahertz band, not on the 2.4. Anyway, so beginning to wrap up, I think we should probably have about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer left. So this that you see here is the 7660LR. Again, this is our first long-range outdoor Wi-Fi 6 access point. You're going to see a couple of more that are going to come out very soon here. One of them I'm going to show you as our sneak peek here in a second. Again, weatherproof. It's got those two antennas, external antennas, to allow it to go up to 250 meters, 1.77 gigs per second. Again, all the same features and functionalities as our other APs. And, you know, like I said earlier, though it's weatherproof and though we say it's an outdoor access point, because it's long range, it is also a great option for indoor usage as well. Fly through this. Mentioned the management options. I kind of went through all the details on that earlier. And all of these management options are free, and they are available and integrated with all of our Wi-Fi solutions. You've got the embedded option. That's the one that's built into the web user interface. Just makes one of the access points basically the master on the network. Allows you to control other access points on the same, other Grandstream access points on the same network. You've got GWN Cloud. That is without a doubt our most popular and most utilized management tool. It is a cloud-based platform, runs on Amazon Web Services, fully free, no limit on the amount of access points that you can utilize or manage with it. And then we've got GWN Manager, all the same functionality as GWN Cloud, just within a Windows-based software. It's free to download, supports up to 3,000 access points, and is great. It really made for local server deployment. So if you have one site, GWN Manager is meant to be run on a server, on a computer, on a PC, on that network to manage the APs on that network. Whereas GWN Cloud is a great option for multiple sites, many different networks, etc. All right, I'm just going to take a quick drink of water before we get into our sneak peek, which will wrap up our webinar here today. All right, so talked about the 3 current Wi-Fi 6 access points that we have in our portfolio. Those 3 are fully available from VoIP Supply right now. And also, as I mentioned earlier, that the networking industry has essentially become our biggest and most impactful expansion in Grandstream's company history. We are putting a lot of resources into this space. The Wi-Fi network is booming, and it has not even come close to where it is going to get to. We have a lot of customers that are now even utilizing Wi-Fi to run their VoIP and their UC solutions. So anyway, going to tell you about a lot of great new stuff you're going to see from us here by the end of the year. Pretty much by the end of the year, we're going to have a solution for almost every single product category that you might need within the Wi-Fi and the networking space. So let's get into it. So the first one, this is coming soon. I think you can probably expect to see this launched in June, maybe the end of May, we'll see, is the GWN 7664 LR. This will instantly become the highest powered long range access point that we have. Pretty much all the same specs as the regular 7664. Obviously, this is just, you know, in the form factor of a long range access point. But it's, again, I believe it supports 3.55 gigs per second. I believe it's going to support 750 concurrent clients. So if you're looking, this will be, again, the highest powered long range access point within our portfolio. Basically the long range version of the 7664 that is currently available that I just showed you. Wi-Fi 6 certified, whole 9 yards. You can keep an eye out for this. Should be at the end of May or into June. So this is, so I should upfront, this is not a Wi-Fi 6 access point, but this is a brand new type of access point that we, for Grandstream. This is the GWN 7624. You can expect to see this come out probably in June or July. And as you can see, this is an in-wall Wi-Fi access point. In the size of this device is, I have an iPhone 11 and it's a little bit smaller than an iPhone 11. It's really, I think that one of the target markets here is hotels, for example. That this device which also has a PoE, one port PoE switch built into it, so it can provide power to a phone or something else that might be connected to it. But again, it's, I think really the target and the biggest market for this type of product is going to be hotels, hospitality, whatnot. Really just seamlessly blends into the wall. So that's a GWN 7624. Again, this is not a Wi-Fi 6 access point, but it is a brand new type of access point for us. So I wanted to mention it. You can expect to see this again, June, July would be my expectation. So here we go with something pretty cool looking and definitely very new. We are in the final stages of getting ready to launch 2 different routers. For those of you that might know our Wi-Fi portfolio, you know that one of the first products we ever came out with about 5 years ago for Wi-Fi or within networking space was the GWN 7000, which is the only router that we have ever come out with. It has a cult following, I will tell you that. And there are a lot of people who have been asking for a long time for kind of the next generation of that. And that's essentially what these devices are. There'll be 2 devices. One's going to be Wi-Fi 5. One is going to be Wi-Fi 6. And both of these devices are more or less, we're calling them home office or small business routers. Most of these guys are going to, I believe, support about 100 clients with the AP built into it. But it really gives you a very easy to use business grade router at a pretty low price point. We won't mention the price point here, but it's going to be quite an amazing price point, to be honest with you. So it's really, we're looking to market this as a great option for home office, workers, for businesses who want to provide somebody that might be traveling or hybrid or working from home with a VPN connection. Along those lines. So keep an eye out for this. There'll be 2 different devices. One will support Wi-Fi 6 and be fully Wi-Fi 6 certified, and one will be Wi-Fi 5. And again, very attractive price points on these guys. So so this is, I guess, pretty much the first brand new product category that I'm mentioning here today. Point to point and point to multipoint. And you'll see that advertised or mentioned as P2P or P2MP, point to multipoint. These are, give just a quick explanation of it. These are super, well, maybe, I don't know if super is the right word. These are to share Wi-Fi connections and networks across long ranges. We have 2 devices that we are currently developing. One is going to support a range of 20 kilometers, and the other is going to support a range of 12 kilometers. So it's great for a business, an enterprise, or a school to share network connections across a large campus or across a city. Great for greenhouse facilities or more remote areas to be able to get internet access from somewhere that has internet access, and to do so, through this wireless connection between 2 point-to-point or point-to-multipoint devices. So a couple of the, deployment scenarios of it could be, I think one of the targets with these devices, other than the enterprises and those kind of business solutions I mentioned, are going to be wireless or satellite internet providers as well, who bring their services into a lot of buildings, apartment buildings, college dorms, for example, through these wireless signals from one of their satellites to a device like this. These devices are probably not going to come out until close to the end of the year. I'm going to say Q4, which would be October, November, December. If I'm being safe, I would expect to see these, you know, yeah, probably right around October, November, sometime around there. Again, brand new product category additions to our GWN series. I don't have a picture for this one because it is still kind of in the early stages of development, but this is something that people have been asking us for a long time. This is something internally that we've been pushing and asking for a long time, and we're excited to finally be able to deliver these to you probably early next year. There's a chance by the end of this year, but probably early next year. And that is PoE switches. And obviously, these PoE switches we're really excited about because they go with everything that we make. It's really one of the products. I talked earlier about being a full solution provider and the one-stop shop. I feel like the one thing that we've always been missing is this. So we're really excited to be bringing out PoE switches later in the year or early next year. They're in the early stages of development, but you can keep an eye out for those, and we'll probably share more information as the year goes on. Kind of switching gears slightly, obviously Wi-Fi products, but not an access point, but a great product to pair with access points or Wi-Fi networks. We have some new cordless Wi-Fi IP phones coming out within the next couple of months. There'll be two different versions. The one on the left is going to be our first ruggedized, waterproof, drop-safe, wireless, cordless Wi-Fi IP phone. The one on the right is going to be a kind of a more traditional two-line desktop or belt Wi-Fi IP phone. These will expand our existing WP series of Wi-Fi cordless phones. There'll be 4 models. We currently have 2, WP820 and the WP810. And then we're going to add these 2 models here. WP825 is the one on the left that is ruggedized, waterproof, drop safe. And the WP822 is the one over there on the right. That's your more standard, I'm going to say, kind of, at least within the spectrum of our devices, high-end cordless phone, just not ruggedized or drop safe. Yeah, so keep an eye out for those. These should be coming out within the next couple of months. I think by the end of June, you'll see both of these. And again, great devices to pair with Wi-Fi access points. I mentioned this a couple of times. We have clients all over the world now that are doing entire VoIP deployments all through Wi-Fi. Not only do we have these cordless Wi-Fi IP phones, but we have our GRP desktop series. Many of those devices have built-in Wi-Fi. All of our video phones have built-in Wi-Fi. We have numerous video conferencing devices that have built-in Wi-Fi. So you really can't anymore put in an entire communication solution just based off of Wi-Fi so that you don't have to create and manage 2 systems. And I think I stole my thunder because that's pretty much what I was going to talk about here on this slide. Basically that, we have, like I just mentioned, we have clients, resellers all over the world that are really flocking to these Wi-Fi based communications networks, not just Wi-Fi for the traditional data functionality, that we're used to with computers and cell phones and all those types of devices, but also the backbone of your communication network. I mentioned most of these devices here already: desk phones, video conferencing, cordless Wi-Fi. We also have a variety of facility access and facility management devices that have built-in Wi-Fi, a speaker, an intercom public address speaker that has built-in Wi-Fi. The other device that you see down there is a management, it's basically a tablet-like device that allows you to manage facility access and IP video surveillance, get alerts and send alerts and make calls and view live feeds right from that device that has Wi-Fi built into it. So pretty much everything, most of the product categories we make on the communications and the facility management side of things, most of those categories now have Wi-Fi integrated with some of those products. And, especially as the world becomes and business becomes more remote and more mobile, people aren't always working in the office 5 days a week. They need to be able to move around. They need to be able to take stuff home and back. Wi-Fi is a great way to build a network that gives you all of that mobility. All right, so I talked for longer than I usually do. I apologize for that, but do appreciate everybody's patience. But that pretty much wraps up what we had planned here today. Gave you a whole rundown on not just all of our Wi-Fi 6 solutions, but pretty much the whole GWN series and our entire portfolio of Wi-Fi solutions. Gave you a preview of some really cool and exciting stuff that's coming out by the end of the year. So as you can see, the Wi-Fi and networking space is pretty much, we're putting a lot of investment into that, a lot of development behind it, a lot of new products coming out. It's poses a fantastic opportunity. Obviously, not just for us, but for the full channel. We've helped customers all over the world expand their business from doing VoIP and UC systems into now also doing networking systems. And if we're not doing that for you already, we're here to help. So you see my contact information on the left. I'm sure Chris Dow, our channel sales manager, sent his information in the chat, email and whatnot. If not, would recommend doing that. I think it's just chris.dow@grandstream.com, and then you see Joe's information over there on the right. So we're all here to help. We all want to help you guys get the most out of your Grandstream products. So let us help. We're here to help. And with that, that wraps up what we had planned here today. Thanks for your patience. Again, went a little bit longer than usual, but a lot of cool stuff, a lot of exciting stuff to cover here. And we thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to learn a little bit more about Grandstream and our Wi-Fi solutions. And with that, I will turn it back over to Joe and the team for any Q&A.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Phil. All great info. It's exciting stuff there. A lot of good things to see there about Wi-Fi and the future of Wi-Fi. Definitely there. I want to thank everybody for joining us, especially Phil, you for giving that great presentation. And like Phil said, we're all here to help Grandstream VoIP Supply. We're here to help you guys as much as we can, and look forward to working with you and seeing you soon. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care, everybody.